Hi everyone, my name is Dan. I've been living in Serbia for over 2 years now. It's been quite a ride, full of changes, ups and downs. It's like jumping into the unknown head first. I haven't exactly climbed to the top, but I've at least found my footing on some solid average ground. It's been a while since I posted videos about Serbia, and there's only one 4 months report on my channel, which is still relevant in some ways. And I also published this video where I talked about what I was missing in Serbia. And although the video didn't turn out to be very popular, I accidentally discovered that my story appeared on Serbian news sites. That article surely sparked heated discussions. Some people supported me, some didn't. Anyway, if any Serbians are watching my videos, thank you for everything. Stay open and positive. Do I regret my choices? Nah, not really. If things were bad, I would have already packed up and moved somewhere else. Who knows what's next? Life is full of surprises. 2 years later, I'm still here in Serbia. Given how long I've been here, the obvious question pops up. How's the legalization process? How did I manage to stay? Well, honestly, it's way simpler in Serbia than you'd expect. Can't say the same for Western Europe though. I've read tons of news forums and watched videos from bloggers on social media who complain about how tough it is to get and renew a residence permit in Western Europe. Take Portugal, Spain, Italy, Austria for example. You might wait almost a year for your first residence permit, and without that magic temporary residence card, you can basically forget about opening a bank account, getting YouTube payouts, accessing healthcare, signing an internet contract in your name, getting a driver's license, or starting a business. Without that card, you barely have any rights and there's no way to speed up the application process. And by the time your application gets approved, it's almost time to apply again for a new reason. Serbia? None of that hustle, seriously. Almost no queues, no crazy bureaucracy. You can open a bank account as a tourist and some internet providers will sign you up without any status or insurance. At least that's how it was when I applied. Sure, there are some bureaucratic surprises here and there, but you can apply for a residence permit on your own and get it in 1 to 4 months max. For a while I lived in Serbia as a tourist. You can stay here as a visitor and just do regular visa runs, aka border runs, to nearby countries like Montenegro or Bosnia and Herzegovina. And I even made my own visa run calculator to keep track of dates and trips. For those who don't know, visa runs lets you reset your stay in the country as many times as you want. Sure, it's not the most elegant solution, but it's perfect for anyone who wants extra time to try out the country and decide if it's worth staying. It's still legally allowed, and lots of tourists, immigrants and relocators use this loophole for months or even years. I did visa runs too, and my passport is now full of stamps from crossing borders. No major hassles or questions came up. The only thing I had to do after each return was to go to the police to get a new registration paper, which is called Beli karton or Prijava boravišta strance. Sometimes landlords will handle this for you, and if you are staying in a hotel, they are obliged to do it. So far everything is clear. I started as a tourist. After a while I decided to go for my first residence permit through what's called the talent visa. The talent visa is for anyone with a university degree, bachelor's, master's, PhD, doesn't matter. You don't need to be some famous scientist, athlete, artist, musician or Forbes listed Elon Musk. You just need to get your diploma nostrified, provide a bio, and show the proof that you've got enough money in your bank account. By law, the talent visa is only for 1 year, though rumors say that some lucky people from smaller cities even got residency for up to 3 years. It's like a legal trial period in Serbia. You can live here, look for work in the local job market, and use most services. Sadly, you can't extend the talent visa, but you can switch to another basis after that year, like a job, a business, language courses, marriage, or owning a property. That's pretty much the deal. Now, let me share my story of getting that first residence permit. It all started towards the end of 2023. For 2 months I was gathering all the documents I needed to submit online through the Welcome to Serbia website.
What the dog doing?
The list included a copy of my apartment agreement, proof of ownership for the place from the landlord, ID of the owner, a written permission to register the property, proof of funds in my bank account, a nostrified diploma from the local Ministry of Education, and some insurance. Sounds simple enough, but there were little hiccups at every step. For example, the bank statement showing my funds was only valid for 30 days, so I saved that for last. For the diploma nostrification, I first had to find a certified legal interpreter to translate and notarize my diploma into Serbian. Then I paid a state fee, about 7,500 dinars in 2023. The next year it jumped to 11k dinars, so I guess I got lucky and saved a bit. After that I filled out an online application on the NERIC website and just waited. 2 months later I got confirmation that the nostrification was done, and I had to go to their office in Belgrade to pick up the documents in person. There I showed my original diploma and passport, and they handed me the precious paper. Half the work was done at that point. Next I tackled the insurance question. I went with the German company Weiner, which costs just 90 euros a year and provides 1k euros in coverage for tourists and non-residents. Getting the insurance took about 2 weeks, but I got all the necessary documents during my first visit and after sending the initial payment. None of these steps had any major issues. The only thing was figuring out how to do everything right the first time, so I wouldn't have to redo anything or drag out the process. One of the final steps was topping up my bank account to prove I had enough funds and getting a bank statement, which again is only valid for 30 days. After gathering all the necessary documents, I scanned everything and uploaded them to the online application through the Welcome to Serbia website. For the final step, I paid the application fee in euros with my bank card online. Once the transaction was processed and confirmed, my documents were officially under review. I could track the status right on the website in my personal account, so there was no need to stress about it. It felt like I could finally breathe and relax. But of course the problems came later. What's interesting is that from the moment you submit your application, you are already considered to have residence permit status. So while it's being processed, you can stay in the country legally without needing to leave, even if your stay is coming to an end. After sending the scanned files, all I could do was wait. I checked the website every day and it always showed me the same message: request processing. No one asked for additional documents or anything. 2 months passed and nothing changed. At first I thought their offices were just overpiled with applications. Plus I hadn't gotten any calls or emails, so the tension was starting to build. Since I was doing this on my own without any help, I couldn't just ask the right person for answers. My patience was running out, so I decided to email them myself using the address listed on the official immigration website. After a while I got a reply, a single sentence literally saying that your application is still being processed. That calmed me down a bit, so I kept waiting. Then total silence. 3 months after submitting my application, around June, I think, the status on the website still hadn't changed. No notifications, no calls. By the end of June, I sent another email, this time to a different address. A day later, I got a response saying that I had missed my biometrics appointment after my application was approved. You can imagine my reaction. Meanwhile, the website still showed my application as under review. The next day, I pulled myself together and went to the Ministry of Internal Affairs without any translator or any help. It wasn't an easy task, but I managed to find the right office. Unfortunately, almost no one at the ministry's foreigner department spoke any other languages. German, English, French, Russian. Nope, I had to use Google Translate for basic communication. I had expected this, so I had already written out my whole issue in the app beforehand. Of course, they asked why I hadn't shown up for biometrics. I explained that the website never updated and I didn't get any notifications by email or phone. No one told me why this happened and no one even apologized. After a few minutes of intense back and forth through the translator, they scheduled a new biometrics appointment for the end of the next month, July. They wrote the date on a tiny handwritten note, no stamp, no reference number, no official confirmation. I was a bit shocked, but at least it wasn't a total waste. Even after my visit, the website status didn't change. It felt like no one was updating this information, or maybe their IT guy was just on vacation. A couple of days before the appointment, the website finally updated with a green request approved message. After logging in, I got an automatic email in my Welcome to Serbia account telling me to pay the fees and show up for biometrics in May, the date I had already missed. Talk about timing. The appointed day has come. I brought all my paid receipts and my passport and went to the ministry in the early morning. I was thrilled but also full of doubts, not to mention exhausted and sleepy. When my turn came, I went into the office. They entered my info into the system, took my photo and scanned my fingerprints. The whole process took maybe 15 minutes. At the end, they gave me a document saying that I need to come back on a specific date to pick up my residence permit card. About a week later, I returned to the same place but a different office. There were a bunch of other foreigners waiting for their cards, just like me. Finally, between late July and early August, I got my precious card in an envelope. I checked that all the info was correct, signed for it and went home almost happy. The card was valid for 1 year, starting from the date I submitted my application online. In reality, that meant I only had about 6 months left on it. Finding a job in 6 months on a talent visa, honestly, that felt pretty unrealistic. Plus, you've got to factor in extra 1 or 2 months to prepare for extending your stay. In the end, I didn't find a job in Serbia because of my limited language skills and lack of work experience. But that residence card finally let me earn money from my YouTube channel and travel in and out of the country whenever I wanted without border runs. As I walked home, my mind was racing. I was worried. Did I even need this residence permit? Was I making a mistake? What's going to happen in a year? What if I lose my job or, I don't know, die? I got the permit to legalize my stay, settle into the country, calmly look for work and build a life. But I realized there aren't many job opportunities here unless you are in IT or doing manual labor like construction, mechanics, or say hairdressing. I wouldn't say my first residence permit in another country significantly changed my life for the better, but it's definitely a step forward. It's a proof that I'm capable of something. The permit pushed me to keep moving instead of staying in one place. In that short time, I met more people than I had in a whole year back in my home country. This journey showed me that anything is possible if you put in the effort. Serbia has potential for living and doing business. Sure, the bureaucratic system and infrastructure are far from perfect, but nothing is perfect anywhere. People here are pretty open and genuinely willing to help in case you have any questions or problems. Thanks to Serbia, I've changed my mind on other Western countries like Germany, the US or Canada. I used to dream of moving there, but those unreasonably bureaucratic, expensive countries don't interest me anymore. But that's a topic for other videos on my channel. In these unpredictable times, it's hard to find a calm place in the world. For now, Serbia remains a really promising option. I'll talk about my next residence permit in one of my other videos. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope you found my story interesting. If you are a traveler or the one who lives in Serbia, feel free to leave a comment below or share your own story. Have a nice day and stay safe.